Have you ever felt like a man was really interested in you only to suddenly pull back? One moment he's engaged, asking questions, making plans, and the next he seems distant, cautious, almost as if he's testing you. This isn't random. It's instinct. Men don't just fall in love. They evaluate, they assess, and they test, not to play games but to find something real. A strong man isn't looking for just any woman. He's looking for the right woman. He's looking for trust, respect, and loyalty. He wants someone who won't crumble under pressure, someone who can stand beside him, not behind him. And before he fully commits, he needs to know one thing. Are you that woman? Men, especially those who take relationships seriously, don't rush into love. They take their time because they understand that real love isn't built overnight. They want to see if a woman is willing to let things develop naturally, or if she's pushing for instant commitment. In today's video, we're going to break down the 5 tests a man will put a woman through before he truly falls in love. Understanding these will help you navigate relationships with clarity and confidence. Section 2. The Patience Test. Can you trust the process? A man will always test a woman's patience before he truly falls in love. This isn't about playing games or making her wait for no reason. It's about seeing how she handles the natural process of building something meaningful. Men, especially those who are serious about their future, are not in a rush to fall in love. They take their time because they understand that real love isn't built overnight. They want to see if a woman is willing to let things unfold naturally, or if she's pushing for immediate gratification. Signs he's testing your patience. He doesn't text back immediately to see if you remain calm or become anxious. He doesn't rush into saying "I love you" just to see if you trust the pace of the relationship. He takes time before making long-term plans, observing if you're patient or constantly asking, "Where is this going?" If a woman becomes impatient, constantly questioning his feelings, demanding emotional validation before he's ready to give it, or expecting instant commitment, a man sees this as a red flag. It signals desperation rather than confidence, and a man does not fall in love with desperation. He falls in love with certainty. How to pass this test? 1. Stay confident. A man respects a woman who trusts the process and doesn't feel the need to control it. 2. Give him space. Letting things unfold naturally allows the connection to grow deeper. 3. Be secure in yourself. If he's meant to be with you, he will move toward you at his own pace. Patience is not just about waiting. It's about how you behave while waiting. A man pays close attention to this. Does she become anxious and insecure if he doesn't text back immediately? Does she question his feelings if he's not constantly affirming them? Does she assume the worst and react emotionally? If so, he recognizes that she is more focused on securing a relationship than truly understanding him as a person. That's a problem because love, real love, is not about possession. It's about connection, and connection takes time. Linda, 57, had been dating Mark for a few months. He was warm, attentive, and made her feel special. But unlike men she had dated before, Mark wasn't in a rush to define the relationship. He wasn't distant, but he also didn't push for labels. Instead of demanding answers, Linda chose to enjoy the journey. She continued living her life, spending time with friends, pursuing her hobbies, and allowing Mark to move at his own pace. Over time, he realized she wasn't just looking for validation. She genuinely valued him. That made all the difference. A woman who trusts the process shows confidence and emotional maturity. She understands that a strong man isn't looking to be pressured. He's looking to be inspired. When a man senses that a woman is patient, that she doesn't need to rush or control the timeline of the relationship, it gives him a sense of safety. He feels that he can trust her, that he won't be pushed into something he's not ready for, and that she respects his process. And that respect is key. A man does not want to feel like he is being tested on how quickly he can commit. Instead, he wants to feel that he is choosing commitment because the woman in front of him has shown him that she is worth it. That's a major difference. So, a woman who is patient understands that if a man is truly meant for her, She doesn't have to chase him or force him into commitment. He will naturally move toward her when he feels ready. The quiet moments matter too. There's also another aspect to patience that many women overlook: the ability to endure the slow moments of a relationship. Not every interaction will be exciting. Not every day will be filled with passion and romance. Real relationships have quiet moments, routine moments, even moments where things feel uncertain. A man wants to see if a woman can handle those times with grace. If she constantly needs excitement, drama, or constant emotional highs, he will see her as someone chasing the feeling of love, rather than the reality of it. But if she can appreciate the steady, even the slow moments, Kant shows that she is truly invested in him, not just the experience of being in love. In the end, patience is one of the greatest indicators of a woman's emotional maturity. A woman who is patient communicates that she values quality over speed, depth over surface-level affection, and long-term connection over short-term validation. She doesn't need to force anything because she knows that real love is built over time. And that kind of woman? That's the kind of woman a man will fall deeply, irrevocably in love with. Section 2. The respect test. Does she truly respect him? Respect is the foundation of any meaningful relationship, and a man will always test a woman to see how deeply she understands and applies it. This test isn't about arrogance or control. It's about ensuring that the woman he chooses to commit to values him, not just for what he provides, but for who he is. A man needs to know that the woman he's with respects his thoughts, his decisions, his boundaries, and most importantly, his identity as a man. Without respect, love cannot thrive. How men test respect a man will observe how a woman treats him in different situations. Some of the key moments include: during disagreements, does she remain respectful, or does she resort to belittling, sarcasm, or harsh words? In public settings, does she support him or does she correct him, criticize him, or make fun of him in front of others? When making decisions, does she dismiss his input or does she acknowledge his thoughts even if she doesn't agree? Regarding his goals and priorities, does she encourage him or does she make him feel guilty for focusing on his ambitions? If a man senses that a woman talks down to him, mocks him in front of others, or constantly overrides his opinions, he will take note. To a man, respect isn't just about love, it's about honor. Passing the respect test, one speak with kindness even in conflict. For it's easy to be loving when everything is going well, but a man will notice how a woman speaks to him when she's frustrated. A respectful woman can express her feelings without insults or emotional outbursts. 2. Recognize his perspective. A strong woman doesn't have to agree with everything a man says, but she should respect his point of view. Saying, "I hear you, but I see it differently," is more powerful than saying, "That's a dumb idea." 3. Support him in public and private. A man feels deeply connected to a woman who supports him in front of others, even when they have differences in private. David, 62, was dating Susan, a woman he admired for her intelligence and humor. But over time, he noticed something. Whenever they were around friends, Susan would make jokes at his expense. She would point out his small mistakes, tease him about his habits, and correct him in front of others. At first he laughed it off, but deep down it made him feel disrespected. He realized that while Susan was charming, she didn't truly value him, so he pulled away. A woman who respects a man builds him up rather than tears him down. She doesn't have to flatter him or agree with everything, but she knows how to uplift instead of undermine. The most important moment of the respect test a man will especially take notice when he makes a mistake. Everyone messes up at some point, misses a call, forgets an anniversary, says something the wrong way. When this happens, does she react with grace and understanding, or does she use it as an opportunity to shame and criticize him? A man will pull away from a woman who makes him feel like he is never good enough. Why respect is key to commitment. A man does not fully open his heart to a woman who criticizes more than she appreciates. A woman who truly respects a man makes him feel safe enough to love her deeply. And when he feels that safety, he won't just commit. he will cherish her. Section 3. The independence test. Can she stand on her own? A man will always test a woman's independence before he fully commits to love. This isn't because he doesn't want to take care of her. It's because he needs to know that she is capable of standing on her own 2 feet. A strong man is not looking for a woman who depends on him for happiness, self-worth, or financial security. He is looking for a partner, not a burden. He wants to know that the woman he loves has her own sense of purpose, her own goals, and her own ability to navigate life even without him. Signs he's testing your independence. A man will observe how a woman handles different aspects of her life, including how she spends her time. Does she have hobbies, passions, and interests outside of the relationship, or does she make him the center of her world? Financial responsibility. Does she manage her own finances, or does she expect him to take care of everything? Emotional independence. Can she handle stress and disappointment on her own, or does she always rely on him for emotional stability? Handling time apart. If he's busy with work or personal commitments, does she panic and demand attention, or does she use that time productively? A woman who lacks independence sends a message that she is looking for a provider rather than a partner. A high-value man will not tolerate this. How to pass this test? 1. Have a life outside of him. A man respects a woman who has her own interests and friendships. If she drops everything the moment she meets him, he sees it as a red flag. 2. Be financially responsible. A man does not expect a woman to be rich, but he does want to know that she can take care of herself. A woman who constantly expects a man to fund her lifestyle signals that she is looking for financial security, not love. 3. Stay emotionally strong. A woman who can handle life's challenges without relying on a man to fix everything shows that she is independent. A high-value man does not want to be a therapist or emotional crutch. He wants a partner who can stand strong beside him. Jessica, 58, had been dating Tom for a while. In the beginning, things were great, but over time, Tom noticed something. Jessica made him the center of her world. She stopped seeing her friends, quit her yoga class, and constantly sought reassurance from him. Tom began to feel pressured. He liked Jessica, but he didn't want to be responsible for her happiness. Eventually, he pulled away. Contrast this with another woman, Emma, who Tom also dated. Emma had her own life. She was happy with or without Tom. She loved spending time with him, but she never needed him, and that made Tom want her even more. Why independence matters to a man. A man does not fall in love with dependence. He falls in love with strength. He needs to see that the woman he chooses can stand beside him, not just lean on him. Because a woman who is truly independent doesn't need a man. She chooses one. And that choice, made out of strength rather than necessity, is what makes a relationship truly powerful. Section 4. The emotional stability test. Can she handle stress, conflict, and uncertainty? Emotional stability is one of the most critical tests a man will put a woman through before he fully opens his heart. This is not because he expects her to be perfect or emotionless. Quite the opposite. He understands that emotions are a natural part of life. However, he also knows that unchecked emotions can destroy love, trust, and peace. A man needs to know that the woman he commits to can handle life's ups and downs with maturity, grace, and self-awareness. He will observe closely to see how she manages her emotions, especially under stress, disappointment, or conflict. Signs he's testing your emotional stability. A man will notice how a woman reacts in key situations. Handling frustration and stress. Does she take a deep breath and think things through? Or does she lash out and blame others? Conflict resolution. Can she communicate her feelings without turning disagreements into emotional warfare? Managing uncertainty. Does she trust the relationship, or does she spiral into jealousy and insecurity? Facing personal setbacks. Does she process challenges in a healthy way, or does she become overwhelmed and reactive? A woman who frequently overreacts, creates unnecessary drama, or cannot control her emotions will exhaust a man over time. He will withdraw. How to pass this test 1. Learn to regulate emotions. Instead of reacting impulsively, take a moment to process your feelings before responding. Emotional self-control is a sign of maturity and strength. 2. Communicate with clarity. If something bothers you, express it calmly and directly, rather than through passive-aggressive behavior or silent treatment. 3. Trust instead of assuming the worst. A secure woman does not let fear control her actions. Instead of jumping to conclusions, she chooses to believe in the relationship. Anna, 56, had been dating John for a few months when he suddenly became distant. Instead of assuming the worst, she calmly asked if everything was okay. John explained that he was going through a stressful time at work and needed space to think. Anna didn't panic or demand attention. She gave him support without pressure. That made John appreciate her even more. He realized she wasn't just there for the good times. She was emotionally stable enough to handle the difficult ones. Why emotional stability is key. A man is not looking for a woman who never feels emotions. He is looking for a woman who knows how to manage them. Because in the end, love is not just about passion. It's about peace. And a woman who brings peace into a man's life, even in the midst of life's storms, is the woman he will choose to love, honor, and commit to forever. Section 5. The Loyalty Test. Will she stand by him through highs and lows? Loyalty is one of the most crucial tests a man will put a woman through before he truly allows himself to fall in love. To a man, loyalty is not just about faithfulness in a romantic sense. It is about trust, commitment, and knowing that the woman he chooses will stand by his side no matter what. A man needs to know that the person he gives his heart to is not just with him when things are easy and exciting, but also when life becomes challenging. He will test a woman's loyalty in subtle ways, not because he enjoys playing games, but because he wants to be sure that she is a partner he can depend on. Signs. He's testing your loyalty. A man will pay close attention to how a woman reacts in key situations. When he's not around, does she speak about him with respect, or does she criticize him behind his back? During difficult times, will she stand by him when he's struggling, or will she distance herself? Around other men, does she set clear boundaries, or does she enjoy the attention of other men? When he makes mistakes, does she hold grudges, or does she work through issues with understanding? A woman who lacks loyalty often makes a man feel replaceable, as if she is only with him when it benefits her. A man will never fully commit to a woman he feels he cannot trust. How to pass this test 1. Speak about him with respect. A loyal woman never degrades her man, even in moments of frustration. If she has an issue, she discusses it with him, not with friends or family. 2. Be there when times are tough. True loyalty is tested in hard times. A woman who stands by her man when he's struggling shows she is truly committed. 3. Maintain clear boundaries with other men. A woman who respects her relationship doesn't seek validation from other men. Loyalty is not just physical, it's emotional as well. Lisa, 60, had been dating Robert for over a year when he lost his job. He was stressed, frustrated, and not his usual self. Some of Lisa's friends told her that maybe she should leave and find someone more stable. But Lisa didn't listen. Instead, she supported Robert, encouraged him, and reminded him of his strengths. Eventually, Robert found a new job. But what mattered most was what he learned about Lisa. She was truly loyal. That made him realize she was the woman he wanted by his side forever. Why loyalty is the ultimate test. A man will only give his heart fully to a woman he knows will never betray him. Not with words, not with actions, and not in moments of doubt. Because loyalty is not just about staying. It's about staying with a full heart through every challenge, every success, and every moment in between. Conclusion. The lessons that matter. Men don't test women to play games. They test because they want to know if they can trust the woman beside them. A man doesn't just want someone to love. He wants a woman who is patient, respectful, independent, emotionally stable, and truly loyal. When a man senses these qualities in a woman, He doesn't hesitate. He commits, not because he is pressured, but because he chooses to. 1. The patience test. Can she trust the process, or does she rush into commitment? 2. The respect test. Does she value him as a person even when they disagree? 3. The independence test. Can she stand on her own, or does she depend on him for everything? 4. The emotional stability test. Can she manage her emotions, or does she create unnecessary drama? 5. The loyalty test. Will she stand by him through tough times, or is she only there for the good moments? A woman who passes these tests isn't just good enough for a relationship. She is the rare kind of woman a man never wants to lose. Understanding these tests doesn't mean you should change who you are just to pass them. Instead, it's about recognizing what truly makes a relationship strong. Men don't fall in love with pressure. They fall in love with confidence. Men don't fall in love with perfection. They fall in love with emotional security. Men don't fall in love with dependency. They fall in love with strength. If you are patient, if you are respectful, if you have your own identity, if you can manage emotions with grace, and if you are loyal, you will never have to chase a man. He will naturally move toward you because he sees the value of the woman you are. And that kind of love. That's the kind of love that lasts. Have you ever experienced any of these tests in a relationship? Which one do you think is the most important? Leave a comment below. I'd love to hear your thoughts. And if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and share.